Hello? It's Steve, Brandon. Can you guys get the door and tell some of the folks? Thanks. All right, guys. Welcome to our April Mobile Monday, sponsored by Cisco. I have a couple of slides here tonight, and obviously when you guys registered, you answered some interesting questions, and I'll also go over the results of those questions. But how many here are new to Mobile Monday? It's first night. Wow, there's a lot of first timers. There always is. Okay. So I have a couple of slides to talk about what Mobile Monday is, and kind of some of the history, and also you're not alone. There are Mobile Monday chapters all over the U.S. and around the world. Surprise! Actually, tonight there's an event just like this was happening in Boston.
What's the hashtag?
Oh, yes. Hashtag tonight is #MomoSV. So if you guys are looking to hire or looking for jobs, if you mention this on Twitter, #MomoSV, or have any other type of comments to make, feel free to mention it to #MomoSV. We won't have Twitter wall, unfortunately, this week or this month due to some unforeseen circumstances last time. But definitely Twitter to #MomoSV if you are looking for a job as well. Tell about a little bit, maybe point us to your resume. Okay, that works. Okay, so my name is Mario Tapia. I'm director of Mobile Monday Silicon Valley, which is a nonprofit organization focused on getting the mobile community together. Tonight, this is kind of the itinerary I'll go through, is the welcome, and I have a couple of slides. And then also, thanks to our great sponsor Cisco tonight, you'll have some presentations as well to go through, and then we'll jump right into demos. And then we also do a lot of community announcements at the end, so we get 60 seconds to come up and let the folks know that you're hiring or looking for work. So essentially, Mobile Monday is an open community. We're a bunch of developers, entrepreneurs, and we're focused on education and networking through these different events. We're about 10 years old. Mobile Monday started in Helsinki by a group of entrepreneurs. They called it Mobile Monday because they were having their meetings on Monday. And we've grown into a very large organization globally. So we're pretty much in different regions around the world. We have probably over 100,000 members today in about 80 different cities. And then last year we held over 900 different events just like this. So these are the different locations around the world. You see it's pretty big. But also we're in different cities. So if you're traveling, you might just, if you're going to Austin, Boston, Dallas, you might want to take a look at MobileMonday.net, and we'll list the different events in the different cities are listed there globally. So if you're also on travel, international travel, and interested in visiting some of the different cities that have events, it'd be a great place to. And you just have to show up, same thing, do the registration, and you get to meet with some of the local folks. So Mobile Monday America is a network overview. We're a 501c6 nonprofit trade organization. These are different cities that we work with. And we have a large email reach, and also our population, we get about 400 to 600 attendance. So I think tonight we capped out. There's about 800. I think we did sell out tonight. From the 800, because it's free, about 600 of you guys show up. So here are some examples of some of the previous sponsors we do for these different events. And a little bit about MobileMonday.us. So for those of you that are new, this is the website you can go to find out more information, because I always get emails like, hey, how do I get on the email list, etc. This is where you start, MobileMonday.us. we essentially do out 1 or 2 blogs a month talking about announcements. We also have an about, basically contact information. You can also follow us on Twitter and also Yahoo groups. We have the calendar events that gets posted. So as we firm up the topic for the month, we put that into calendar events. We have, just like for the event tonight we're doing for demos, you can submit your app. So essentially this is a Google app. You can submit your information about your app, and I would go to this list first when I'm looking for demo nights. So this is a great place to go to list your application for future demos. And I know we have about two of them coming up for this year. I'm also open to topic ideas. So if you guys find a new trending topic like HTML5 or other type of developer platforms, this is another area you want to go and put some topic ideas. And thanks to our volunteer John Lynn, we also have videos. So we record this and post it on Ustream. So in the event that unfortunately you missed a Mobile Monday event, you can always catch up to it. Probably takes about a week before John can put those on the web. So going to some of the questions that you guys asked, or that I asked and you guys answered. A good majority of you guys are still using an iOS. This is a personal device. So some of you guys use some type of iThingy device. Another good portion of you guys use Android. And then a diminishing side of you guys are using RIM, and then Symbian. It's a smaller minority in the group, which is interesting because this was a lot different a year ago. This was last year. There was definitely iPhone, but Android was not as strong, and RIM was definitely a little bit stronger. In this audience on the far left, 160 of you said you guys were developers. 235 of you said you were guys in product and marketing. 246 of you guys are business development or sales. 35 of you were VCs, and about 12 were media and journalists. And then I asked who's the first timer here, and about 292 of you guys said you were first timers, which is interesting. It's always about close to half, and definitely like some of you guys are regulars. I was also asking a couple of questions for the developers out there to see what platforms would you support for your app. 283 of you guys said you were Android. 137 said you were BlackBerry. And 99, this is more than last month, Windows Mobile. So Windows Mobile is starting to grow. And for iOS, 315, and then Symbian about 75, which is pretty much about the same. I asked a question about why are you attending? So about 459 of you said it's for education purposes, learn more about mobile. 65 of you are looking for a job. So this is interesting. So definitely most of you a good majority of you guys are looking for work, and this is definitely a good place to do it, to network and to find leads. And I definitely, there's a lot of people employing you guys, so for developers, sales, or marketing, definitely I think this is a good place to look. At the end of the demos, we'll be doing some community announcements, so 60-second announcements. So if you are looking, this would be a good place to do it. But also Twitter to #MomoSV, hashtag if you're looking for people or if you're looking for work. And then a good majority of you guys said, yeah, you're here for networking and drinking beer. So relevant for tonight is enterprise apps on your phone. So 285 of you said, no, you don't use enterprise apps, but I think you're lying. And 405 of you guys said yes, and I think definitely there's some, definitely in the workplace for mobile productivity and also mobile workforce management. I think definitely most of us do kind of use those applications. So if the world was binary or bipolar, what kind of apps would you guys use, or what platforms would you guys develop for? And 300 of you guys said Android, and the other half of you said an i-type device, iThingy. So that's interesting. So you guys are, so is it this side that's Android, or is it this side that's Android? Try this. So this is interesting. So I'll be keeping a record of these as time goes on and see what this demographic looks like. And something very close to my heart was about if you're publishing an Android app, which app stores I can't use App Store anymore, I think. Cease and desist from Apple when you select. So I asked about GetJar, which is the second largest app store in the world, and a good majority of you guys said, yeah, I'll publish to GetJar. A large portion of you guys also said, hey, I'll publish to Android market, of course. And then the newcomer in this field is Amazon, and a whopping 300 of you guys said, I'll publish to Amazon. And this is great to see what's happening with Android and the diversification of distribution channels. And if I were an Android developer myself, I wouldn't just bet my bets on just one store. It takes about 10 minutes for all these different applications to upload your app. So it's probably best bet to spend those 10 minutes to get an extra distribution channel. And that's something a lot of developers forget about distribution channels. So contact, I'm mario.tapia@mobilemonday.net. If you have any questions, check us out on mobilemonday.us. And also look at our Yahoo group, Mobile Monday. We have a Yahoo group, and you can just sign up. Pretty much, we're not going to get spammed. There's a lot of announcements and a lot of discounts for different conferences that are happening in the Bay Area. So it's definitely worthwhile to join the Yahoo group if you're new to Mobile Monday, because then you just get to find out. You don't get too many emails, maybe less than a handful a week. And also you can follow us on Twitter, which I don't tweet it that much. I just talk about different events that are happening in our own. Okay, guys. Next up, I have Cisco. Cisco's going to come and do a welcome.
Thanks, Mario, and welcome everybody. My name is Jagdish Girimaji. I'm a product manager in the wireless business unit at Cisco Systems. First of all, I'd like to thank the organizers of Mobile Monday, Silicon Valley chapter, to giving Cisco Systems an opportunity to sponsor this event. I'll take a couple of minutes with my colleague here to introduce very briefly Cisco Systems and more importantly, the Cisco Developer Network. And then we'll get into the demos. Unfortunately, we don't have live demos, but we've got a couple of videos that we will highlight the use cases. The theme of this event is enterprise apps, and today what we have is leveraging the enterprise or the wireless LAN infrastructure in your enterprise to develop enterprise apps. So that's what we will demonstrate. And these apps happen to be very indoor location specific. So let's get started. So I'm not going to get into the history of how Cisco was formed, but for those folks who don't know, but it was started by Len and Sandy in 1984. Husband-wife pair wanted to trade emails, couldn't trade, and the start of the multi-protocol router and the birth of Cisco. That's how we got started. 25 plus years away after many acquisitions and partnerships, here we are. A quick snapshot on the market share leaderships in various technologies. You can skip this. This is of importance, and let's focus on this for a minute here. So since we are talking about the wireless LAN infrastructure, I'd like to point out a few things. If you develop applications on the Cisco infrastructure, you would like to know what the market share is, and so this is relevant information for you folks. 60+% in market share, and in terms of the various the penetrations in the Fortune 1000 companies in various verticals, you can see the numbers there. So you can feel comfortable that developing an app on the Cisco infrastructure will get you some market there. Okay, I think that's the key takeaway on that slide. In terms of the wireless LAN infrastructure itself, we don't have to get into the pieces of what components of what exists. So there's the access points, the controllers, and the management platform. You don't have to worry about all of that. What you need to focus on is something called the Mobility Services Engine. That's shown at the top there, the MSE. And we've got an API, open API, that you can write to and develop applications. That's all you need to care about. And there is information on how, what you can get, where you can get that information. There is a no-cost licensing for that. You can gather that information from links that we provide on the site, and we'll also be outside after this event to talk more about if you have any questions. Okay. So I'll pass on to my colleague here, and he'll talk about the Cisco Developer Network.
Sure, yeah. Okay, thanks, Jagdish. I also want to thank Mario and Rhonda for allowing us to sponsor tonight's event, and I want to thank you all for spending your Monday evening with us, and thank the Club Med setting over there for the dulled island reggae music. My name is Bert Craner with the Cisco Developer Network, and Cisco is really founded itself on listening to customers, and is one of the companies out there that really listens to customers' feedback and uses it to drive its strategy. And customers want to partner with Cisco just because they want us to learn more about their business, and they want us to more effectively build solutions that address their business problems. And Cisco knows for a fact that it can't do it by itself. That's why Cisco has this philosophy of having a build-by-our-partner innovation strategy that allows us to quickly adapt to these customer requirements. And developers, just like you, are key to that, because many times these solutions are made up of really key three elements. One, of course, the Cisco products and technologies. The second is usually a channel partner that implements the solution and also provides services. And then the third key part is your apps and devices. So your apps and devices actually provide more business relevance in these solutions and make them that much more compelling. And that's the whole reason why we created the Cisco Developer Network. The Cisco Developer Network is really about providing you with the resources that you need, whether it's an API and SDK related documentation, access to the community or subject matter experts to develop applications that are compatible with Cisco products and solutions. And it also incorporates a partner ecosystem. So if you're a business like an independent software vendor or an independent hardware vendor that wants to go to market with Cisco, under the program framework, the Cisco Developer Network provides you with the platform for doing that. One thing that I wanted to leave you with before we moved on to the demos tonight is we are working on something very exciting called Cisco Developer Network Marketplace. And so in the coming months, look to the Cisco Developer Network website for updates. But the Cisco Developer Network Marketplace is really intended to provide our developers and our technology partners with the ability to market and sell their Cisco compatible applications, devices, or solutions on the Cisco Developer Network Marketplace website. It's going to provide a lot of the features that you see on consumer marketplaces and app stores today, but it's really focused on the enterprise customer. And one of the unique aspects of Marketplace will be the ability for enterprise customers to create a customized enterprise app store, if you will, that allows them greater control on the applications that their users in the enterprise, in terms of the applications they can purchase, the licensing that are available, in a secure environment. So Marketplace is going to bring this unique feature to the enterprise. And in the coming months, again, Marketplace is going to be announced, and the first version of Marketplace is going to focus on the Cisco CS tablet that you've probably heard about recently. And the Cisco CS tablet, if you haven't already heard, was designed from the ground up for the enterprise, and it was designed by Cisco to address the mobile needs of our enterprise customers. So it's going to have features that enterprise customers need, such as high-definition video. It's going to be fully integrated with Cisco collaboration tools like WebEx and telepresence, and offer, again, a secure platform that enterprises are looking for. So again, please stay tuned on our website, developernetwork.cisco.com, to stay abreast of these changes that are happening. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about lurkers, but it's really a way for Cisco to seek out applications that really complement and bring out a lot of functionality in Cisco solutions. And the demo that we're going to show today, Jagdish, is focused on the augmented.
Right. So we've got three demos. We'll talk about the augmented reality demo, which is part of this with the networkers. So let's get to the first demo. So the first demo is about while they bring up the video here, so this is about an application that was developed for the Copenhagen airport. It uses the Cisco infrastructure with the MSE and the apps that have been developed for both Android and the iPhone. And you'll see the use case here, and then I'll take a minute to explain and sort of trigger some ideas in your mind and what can be done. Here it's
managing the airport environment to ensure the quick and efficient flow of passengers as they arrive, transfer and depart is a very complex problem. How to best organize both the physical layout of the airport as well as the resourcing of staff for the many functions and processes involved, from check-in to security to retail and immigration, is a never-ending challenge. A key input to this problem is information about the historical and real-time movement of passengers and staff through the airport environment. There are a number of different ways to sense and detect the flow of people within the airport. One promising approach we're looking at in CETA Lab is to use the Wi-Fi signal on today's smartphone to sense a person's location and movement. Partnering with Copenhagen Airport and Cisco Systems, CETA Lab initiated a trial study in the fall of 2010 to create a prototype 3D dashboard showing the movement of people within the airport based on their smartphone's Wi-Fi signal. This short video is a quick demonstration of the results of this project. A phone's Wi-Fi signal will be detected by more than one Wi-Fi access point at a time. Based on the distance away from each access point, the Wi-Fi signals will vary in relative strength to each access point. Using triangulation and a set of math algorithms, an estimate of where the phone is relative to the access points can be made. This is performed at Copenhagen Airport by Cisco's Mobility Services Engine, or MSE appliance. The MSE can then be queried for the position of each Wi-Fi signal. The CETA Lab location platform converts this data into longitude, latitude, and 3D world XYZ coordinates. Recording this information allows it then to be overlaid into a 3D model of the airport to show both historical and real-time movement of people through the airport. The Copenhagen Airport 3D model, displaying people's location and movement, is a Java application that can be run on any PC. The dashboard is easy to use and navigate with the ability to increase the opacity of the floor plan to show one or more floors. You can also pan, rotate, and zoom in and out freely inside the airport 3D mapping. The dots represent a live Wi-Fi signal sensed from a smartphone in the airport. The blue dots are arriving passengers. This is deducted from the fact that their Wi-Fi signal was first sensed by an access point at an arrival gate. The red dots represent departing passengers, or people waiting for arriving passengers as they were first sensed by an access point upon terminal entry. Finally, white dots are people working in the airport, and black dots represent airport infrastructure like Wi-Fi tagged baggage trolleys, and retail PCs. The dashboard is collecting and archiving data. This data can be played back for any chosen time frame to observe past activity, for example, to see what passengers do during a disruption event. By taking historical passenger localization information, filtering it, and loading it into a predictive analytics tool with learning algorithms running on the data, we can see patterns of behavior emerging, like dwell time areas, similar passenger routes, and likely transitions from one location to another. This translates raw data into intelligent output that can be used to manage and improve airport key performance indexes. With the real-time data available, we're gathering statistics for capacity management and for identifying bottlenecks. With the historical data, we can identify time spent in each location or zone, understand how people traverse the airport, translate this into improvements in the airport to speed up security, improve navigation, and increase dwell time in retail areas. CETA Lab is also looking at data clustering, a data mining technique which will group people by their characteristic and behavior in going through the airport. Using this technique, we could understand key decisions made by passengers navigating the airport, and also predict in real time the likely route through an airport. As next steps, CETA Lab is looking at how this passenger movement information can be correlated to flight arrival and departure information to better understand things like average transfer times and the ability to use the real-time information about transferring passengers to assist in decisions to hold a flight or not. Through this prototyping approach, we look to explore the accuracy and usability of Wi-Fi location data and see how the technology can be applied to improve planning, decision-making, and airport management processes. In addition, what improved location accuracy can mean for developing smartphone applications that provide location-based services in the airport environment. CETA will proceed with further research to investigate most promising opportunities.
So quickly to summarize this, it's about indoor location, and analytics is the use case that they have done. But think about it for a moment, what you can extend to beyond this. Certainly, you can take the contextual information, knowing the person or the passenger or the consumer in this case, and then personalize their experience. I mean, the use cases this is just the tip of the iceberg. And analytics is just the first point, or the first step. And you can build on this in a number of ways to customize and enhance the user or the customer experience. I won't get into the many use cases that you can dream of, but this is basically done using the MSE and the API that's available. So let's look at the second.
Let it go. Let it roll right off your shoulder, don't you know? The hardest part is over. Let it in. Let your clarity define you in the end. We will only just remember how it feels. Our lives are made in these small hours. These little wonders, these twists and turns of fate. Time falls away. These small hours. Let your troubles fall behind you, let it shine till you feel it all around you. And I don't mind if it's me you need to turn to, we'll get by. It's the heart that really matters. Our lives are made in these small hours.
the spa part of the Cisco, but let's remove the theatrics and talk about what really this is about. So this is about augmented reality, using your camera imagery and overlaying with the maps and so on to produce some real use cases. Conference room availability, booking conference rooms, finding out the digital graffiti and so on. So those are the real use cases. Again, leveraging the indoor location from something that's available to app partners to develop on. That's the story on that. The rest of it is a lot of drama there, but I think hopefully you got the message. Indoor positioning, map availability, augmented reality leveraging the camera, the imagery from the camera and superimposing on the map to develop some useful and interesting use cases.
Yeah, if you want to take a close look at the CS, or if you have any questions for Jagdish or I, you can just come back to our booth. It's right next to the registration area. So yeah, please come by. We'd love to talk to you. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Cisco. So next on deck is going to be Dave from Wyse. He's going to be demoing PocketCloud. Set up here.
Hello everyone, my name is David Nagy and I'm with a very small business unit at a fairly large company called Wyse Technology. In my business unit we develop PocketCloud and also PocketCloud Pro. These are remote desktop apps that allow you to access Windows, Mac, and VMware environments on your room. So the version I'm going to be demonstrating today is PocketCloud Pro. This version is designed more towards the enterprise market with higher end security features, a little bit better performance, and also the VMware view capabilities. So when you start up PocketCloud, you see on the left-hand side the list of computers that you configured. In this case, on the top, I have connections that were discovered. Use the Google App Engine that allows you to, just by simply logging in on both your mobile device and also on your desktop or laptop into your Google account, you're able to have an instant connection between them. The manual connections are for RDP, VMware, and also for VNC connections. And then you're able to edit these in the list. You can also tap and also change the addresses, the usernames, as well as the names that appear in the list here. So we'll go ahead and connect to one Windows 7 machine that I have running. And of course, I tried this 12 times before and it connected to the server every time. As Steve Jobs says, you guys should turn off all of your AT&T phones. Try this one more time. Let's try a different one now. Restart the app. Sorry, I don't know why it's not connecting.
Can you open a page in Safari?
What?
Can you open a page in Safari? Maybe?
Yeah, connection.
Let's see. Anytime I want to test an internet connection because I love pizza, first thing I do is I search for pizza to see if things alive. So, there it is. It could be a lot worse. Let me just.
Let's go. Oh,
Going to Safari.
pizza's lucky.
Yeah.
You seem to prime the pump of that.
The iPad's on
Okay, so now I'm connected to a Windows 7 machine that I have running. And across the bottom I have my menu bar, which has a sub-menu and a couple of things that I'll show you. It has our magical touch pointer. You see the arrow here. If I tap that, you're able to move this around the screen and have very fine control over what you're aiming at on the screen, highlight cells and so on. You also pop up the keyboard from the touch pointer and have all the function keys, the control keys available here. There's also an auto activate function for the keyboard. So if you're in a web browser and you go to a field that requires text input, it automatically pops it up. And here it manually pops up the keyboard. And then there's a right click on the mouse and some resizing for the screen. Let's have a quick look at the sub-menu functions in PocketCloud Pro. And the two main things that we have in here are a thin browser. And we developed this kind of very lightweight kind of browser, something you could go and run Flash from the iPad or the iPhone, where we also run. We also have a file browser, so it's a little bit more convenient than going to your desktop and tapping on a folder or going into Windows Explorer, so you're able to just see things on the list. We'll look at a couple of things there, and then some help functions. So in the thin browser, it fires up our own browser. And one of the cool things that we do here is we take your bookmarks from your desktop that you're logged into, so everything that's already bookmarked on your desktop that shows up here. And also history shows up, and then anything that you already place that you visit while you're browsing on your mobile device also syncs back to your browser on your desktop. And then of course, this is where you can go to Flash sites. This is the way you get Flash on your iPad, even though some people don't allow it. Going back to the desktop, and then in the sub-menu will also pop up our file browser. And the file browser allows you to view directly the files on your desk or in your various folders. So this is a regular Windows directory just shown with a better interface. And here you can play streaming video, and so if you don't have time, I'm not going to bring up a video and play that. You're able to do that. You can also search across all of your connected desktops or servers. So anything that's turned on and in that list that we were looking at, you can do a search across all of those. And then across the bottom, you can also display all the programs that you have running. So this is one of the distinctions of PocketCloud, in that it allows you to run all the programs and print your iPad, if you really need it to be, into a Windows machine. And you can see all the active programs that are running, search function, and you can also download files from your desktops and servers into PocketCloud. And that's pretty much it.
Thanks, David. Next we have Fusebox Incorporated with Fuze Meeting, and Greg will be presenting.
Thanks, Mario. Hi, everybody. So I'm with Fusebox. We have a product called Fuze Meeting. Just a show of hands, how many of you guys have heard of Fuze Meeting before or maybe used it? So a few people in this room. Maybe when we come back next year, we'll see a lot more hands up. That's the intent. So I'm going to demonstrate our application. We're going to get it in frame here. Think of Fuze Meeting as all the elements of a face-to-face meeting in the palm of your hand. So we can allow you to share content, voice, and high-definition real-time video as well. We're going to demonstrate all that for you in a live demo from the iPad if the demo gods cooperate. So, and the goal here is for us to be louder in our applause at the end than the guys next door. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is start my meeting. So you might have seen there I had a list of meetings in the interface. I've now started my meeting, and lo and behold, Kristen, who's actually in the audience here, works with our PR firm. Kristen has an iPad, and she's going to join. I'm going to accept her in. And Mike Bidet, who's in our Dana Point office, is also going to attend our live meeting here. And we're just using a Verizon 4G puck. So now I have the option to join the audio conference as well. I can do that via our built-in VoIP, or I can fuse in. Just because I want to show you our VoIP capability, I'm going to go ahead and bring in a phone. And this is going to be my mobile phone. So now it's telling me that we're fusing in, and if AT&T works in here, my phone will ring, and Mike will be on the bridge. It's all of us. Hey Mike, are you there? All right, so Mike, say hello to everybody. Okay, good. All right, so now let's see if we want to see Mike. Let's go ahead and start a video conference as well. So we can do that from here. I'll start a video conference. And I'm actually going to turn off the front-facing camera on the iPad 2 here. We'll let Kristen demo, because otherwise you're going to be looking at an Elmo, which isn't very exciting, or the presentation tool here. All right, and Mike, so we'll have Kristen go ahead and come in on video, and Mike's going to come in. So Mike, how's the weather down there in Dana Point? Okay, he said dark right now. All right, well, we were going to show you out the window what the weather looks like, but we've got some other ways to show you what the weather looks like, so we'll go ahead and do that. And Kristen, you having connectivity problems? All right, so we've got one video feed in, and you can see what Mike's refresh rates look like. That's a live video feed coming in over a 4G connection. So now, let's say we want to share some content in our meeting. So I can do that with things like this PDF document. We want to talk about the weather, we can do that. So I can also pinch and zoom and pan around here. Actually, I'll bring up a different image here. Let's bring up a hurricane. So, not to jinx anybody that lives in Florida. So I'm going to point out the eye of the storm here. And Mike, do you want to pan over to the Yucatan Peninsula for us? Oh, let me make him a presenter first. So to do that, I just give him presenter rights. And I'll do the same for Kristen. So now we're kind of co-presenting in this meeting. So Mike, if you want to highlight something on the screen. There you go, so now he's zooming in. Go ahead and visit our friend Fidel Castro in Bay of Pigs over there. Okay, so there's the problem. Great, thanks Mike. And of course I can pinch and zoom on the iPad and he follows along with me in high def, so that's great. So I can also show other content. Now I think Box.net is presenting a little bit later on, so I'll kind of maybe steal a little bit of their thunder and partially demo the application. So if you have other applications like Dropbox or SugarSync and you want to upload content into your meeting, you can do that. So here I'm just going to choose Open In, and I'll choose Fuze Meeting, and it'll reopen our application, and you'll see that content get added to our meeting. So I'll go ahead and cancel that and bring it up. And there's the Aleutian Islands. And Kristen, are you having any luck with? No. Okay, well, we'll show you that later. So here's another image. And Mike, let's see. Why don't you show us something on your desktop now that I made you presenter? And by the way, everything we're showing you is in high definition. It doesn't look so high def because of the presenter, or the overhead projector device. Mike, what is that? So here I can pinch and zoom in. Oh, it's our script. Well, thanks, Mike. Wow, awesome. All right. So as you can see, we can share everything. High-def content, screen sharing, images, PDF documents, anything you can get on your iPad you can share, or you can make other people presenters so they can share on their good old-fashioned PC. We also support Android, so I have an Android tablet if any of you guys want to take a look at it later. And then the last thing I'll leave you with is something that's very difficult to do in a a high definition, regular collaboration product, and that's to share high definition content. So keeping with our weather theme here, we have a little video with a storm in high def, and we're going to play that for you. I'm going to go ahead and wipe this out of the way. And of course, we have synchronized sound. So Mike, you can pause at any point here. Okay, you want to go ahead and pause us, Mike? Sure. So now Mike can also annotate anywhere here in the content, even when he's paused, and we can zoom in as well. So I think that's just about everything. So we've got in-meeting chat, VoIP, all the content you want to share from a mobile device. We support all mobile devices, or the major mobile devices, I should say, both iPad and Honeycomb tablets. And check us out, fuzemeeting.com. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome, thanks, Greg. Next, Salesforce. Jason McDowell, Salesforce Chatter.
Evening, everybody. My name is Jason McDowell. I'm a product manager at Salesforce.com. Many of you know Salesforce for our fantastic customer relationship management software. We are the leader in cloud computing, but beyond CRM, we also do some great things around customer service and support. We have a fantastic development platform, particularly with our recent acquisition of Heroku, which is great for mobile development. But tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about our collaboration offering. Our collaboration offering is called Chatter. And as you can imagine, what collaboration means in the enterprise is very much about working with the other people in your organization, working with groups within your organization, and working on things like planning your next vacation to a Stanley resort, or working on that presentation, that marketing material, whatever it happens to be. And on the mobile team, we took all of the collaboration aspects that make sense in the mobile environment and brought them to our favorite mobile platforms, iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry. Here on the screen today, I have the iPad application. And when we were building the iPad application, we were really focused on consuming that interaction, that collaboration you have with the folks wherever they happen to be, as well as contributing to the conversation. So you can imagine that some of the stuff that you see on the screen, somebody's posted a file that they want to share and they might want some comments back on. So here on the iPad application, we've implemented some of our favorite features around the iPad. One of them is pinch spread, so if I pinch and spread and AT&T is kind. We'll see a preview of all the slides in the presentation, so I can preview before I commit, and I can tap on that and download it, we'll cancel. And then view and present that file straight from my app right here. From the application, I can even reply with comments about how fantastic that presentation is around Cisco. There you go, Cisco, let me plug it for you for free. This is anyway. We also have within this application not just the ability to interact with your coworkers, which is admittedly pretty fantastic, but because Salesforce is so much about the data, the Chatter application really brings that data alive. So as people are, for example, you have a contact, you have an opportunity, you walk out of that opportunity, went really well, you change, the probability that that deal is going to close from maybe to very likely. The moment you change that, an update is made to your Chatter feed, and you see that, and your boss sees that because your boss is following you, or your boss is following that piece of data. And so everybody that's interested in that conversation around the data, it's there and available for you as well. Here in this app, I've got a couple of filters, all Chatter, the things directed directly at me, as well as my groups and my favorite people in the organization, including Mark Benioff, of course. So I also want to show you very quickly as well, not just the iPad application, but also what it looks like on the iPhone. If that looks okay. So on the contribution side, you can imagine from the field that there are a lot of situations where you are about to walk into a meeting, you want to make sure you have the most up-to-date information about that particular deal. And as you're walking through your door, you realize that something's not quite right, or there's a question you didn't get answered. And so Chatter in your hand on the road is a fantastic avenue by which to ask those just-in-time questions and get answers back from the folks in the company. It's also a great place to, when meeting, ask the customer questions that come up that you aren't able to answer. And we've had a lot of great stories within our own company about answers coming back within seconds to satisfy customer questions that are there. On the iPhone, in our own use within Salesforce, we found that it's fantastic to have just a nice, simple listing of everybody in the company. Corporate directory in your pocket, so I've got email, call, and text easily accessible there, as well as to be able to see what he's interested in and the chatting that's happening on his wall. And then on the contribution side, you can imagine when you're in a meeting, you want to capture this fantastic demo, or you want to capture whatever is on the whiteboard and share that with a group, or share that with your coworkers, and so you have the ability to add photos, add mentions, all the standard things as you might expect from a great collaboration app. 1 minute. Great. Including hashtags and all the rest. And then with my last few seconds, I will show you what is, in my opinion, the best BlackBerry app on the market. And that, of course, is Chatter for BlackBerry. And here we get the same type of experience that you saw on the other platforms. So, people groups, being able to interact with files, download those files, contribute back to the conversation, really stay on top of not only collaboration in other groups, but also the records and data. Thank you, AT&T, for being my demo. So I'll be around at the end if you guys have any questions about Salesforce and what we're doing in the mobile space. I'm happy to answer them.
Thanks, Jason. Next is Michael Smith from Boxnet.
Okay. See that? Okay, hi everybody. I'm Michael Smith, and I'm the product manager responsible for Box's mobile offering. Today I'm going to go through our iPad application, but we also have applications for Android, iPhone, the mobile web, and we're going to be coming out with a bunch more later this year for other platforms. So I know that Mario didn't want us to give presentations, but the Box app is really good at giving presentations, so I'm going to give a very short one. Okay, so what is Box all about? We have a simple vision. Make it easy to share, manage, and access your content from anywhere. And mobile is a big part of that. So kind of the three main tenets of all of our applications are simple, open, and mobile. Simple because applications should be fast and intuitive. Open because you should be able to access your content from any application. And mobile because you should be able to access it from anywhere. So let me show you the app right now. You can see here on the left-hand side, you can access your private folders. And these only you have access to. And you can also access collaborated folders. And collaborated folders you share with other people in your organization. And so if I make any changes in this folder or somebody else makes a change, it gets reflected immediately. It's everybody that's in that folder. So let's see. We also have an update speed. And that update speed gives you kind of a feed of everything that's happening in all of the collaborated folders that you're a part of. And this is great when you're on the go because it makes it possible for you to kind of keep a finger on the pulse of the organization. So let me roll into some case studies. So we've seen a lot of traction in enterprise for tablets, and one great example is TaylorMade. So TaylorMade sales reps in the past had to carry around these big bulky binders with pricing sheets and marketing material, and they had to give these demos out of these paper binders. They ended up converting to all iPad and ended up now they have access to all their content. It's always up to date. They never have to worry about any kinds of delays in pricing. And they've actually told us, this is great, that people really love receiving demos from iPads rather than paper. So we're kind of making the enterprise sexy there, which is exciting. So last, 1 minute, cool. So last, I just want to show you a little bit about OpenBox, and the Fuze Meeting guys we saw presented this earlier. But let's say that I'm working on a slide. Box is hiring, like everybody is. So I came up with a great idea today. So I'm going to go ahead, edit it in Quick Office. We have an integration with. Would you like to open a new file? So I can go ahead, type, make a change. In this case, we have a $10,000 referral bonus for anybody that hires, refers an engineer, which is really exciting. I can save it back. Back into my Box account for Mobile Monday. And immediately all of my collaborators are given access to the new document. So yeah, I guess that's it. And yeah, so like I said before, right now we have applications for iOS and for Android, but we'll be coming out with several more as they come out this year. Great, thanks.
Awesome, thanks, Michael. Next is MobileIron with Mike and Karen.
Hey guys. Great, good evening everyone. I'm Mike McCarron. I run the customer success group at MobileIron. For those of you who don't know MobileIron, what we do is we provide mobile device management software for enterprise and large enterprise customers for them to be able to manage the fleet of mobile devices within their workforce. And a large part of that has to do with application management and distribution. We also manage some of the largest iOS and Android deployments in the enterprise today. And what we've been seeing tonight and what we're going to see a little bit later on is lots of great enterprise applications. What I'm going to focus on is really on how do we get those enterprise applications out to the enterprise community and the end user community within those organizational groups. So I'm going to focus on three things. First is how do you get the good apps to the right people and keep the bad apps out. I'm going to talk about how we leverage from an enterprise IT perspective, how we leverage the user's role and the overall device security posture to make sure that the right applications are being displayed and made available to the end user community. And also we're going to talk about how we've recreated a very familiar and easy to use user interface that the end user community will be familiar with and allow them to really embrace this approach. So as we go into the MobileIron client, what you'll first see as this focuses is both App Store apps as well as in-house apps. So App Store apps are pretty typical what you would think. Those are the apps that are being distributed and managed out of the iTunes App Store. The in-house apps, those are the applications that enterprise customers and companies are building on their own, and they want to actually distribute those apps to their end user employees. Some typical examples of things that customers are using today, retail companies are using, as they mentioned just in the previous demo, around product documentation, specs, pricing information. We also have a lot of healthcare and hospitals who actually use in-house apps to be able to manage information around patients and having the doctors and patients stay in touch with the overall statistics and vitals of various patients while the doctors are on the go. So you also see, in terms of the actual application, you'll see a familiar badging mechanism which we have, which is, again, we show that there are 4 apps in the App Store and 4 apps in the in-house apps that are made available to me as an end user. As I dive into the in-house apps, what you'll see is that there are certain applications that are available to me as an end user. Behind the scenes, the infrastructure and the system is basically saying, what role do I have within the organization, and what is the security posture of the device that I have in particular, and that actually allows me to display the various applications. So for example, I'm part of the technical support and services group, therefore I have the engineering specs application available to me. Folks in my company who are part of sales or part of marketing aren't going to have access to that same app based on their role. The other thing is that because the information in that engineering specs application is sensitive, it's sensitive IP that the company needs to protect. If I didn't have data protection enabled on my iOS device, that application also wouldn't be available to me as an end user. So again, it takes both the role of the individual as well as the security posture of the device, which then determines which applications are available. So again, as I actually dive into more details in here, if I actually open this up, you'll see a very familiar, easy-to-use user experience and user interface, and then I can actually look at a couple of bits of information about the app. I can look at some screenshots and actually view the actual application before I download it. And actually, if I actually want to actually download the application itself, simply click on install. It'll make a connection to the back server, and once it does, it'll actually install that application. By clicking install here, you'll see the application comes right up over the air. So both App Store apps, as well as the in-house apps that we manage on the back end, all of those are delivered over the air, which allows the mobile workforce to stay up to date on new applications and new versions of those applications without having to come in and connect to their home computer. One of the other things that I think is important to notice is these are all the applications that you want on people's devices and on people's mobile devices. The other thing that you actually want to avoid is the bad apps from getting on those apps. So the IT administrators within our customers leverage the application store and the application controls to eliminate or to block access to devices based on suspect or questionable apps being on the device. So if I had a gambling application on my device, the enterprise IT team could use that information to block access to corporate assets like Wi-Fi, VPN, and email. Okay. So again, the three things that I wanted to talk about tonight, again, keeping the good apps in and on the devices, keeping the bad apps out and those devices out of the corporate network. Secondly, the fact that we leverage and manage both the user's role as well as the security posture on the device itself to determine which applications are available. And lastly, that the end user experience is something that the end user community wants to have something familiar so they can embrace it, adopt it, and allow the enterprises to distribute and manage the applications out to their end user community. That's it.
Thanks, Mike. VMware. Conrad.
Gotta just zoom again. Good evening, everybody. Got an app to show you tonight that we're really excited about. Oh. Let's reposition it. Look at that. Sort of gorgeous. Thanks, Mario. So this here is Creighton Hicks. He's from PocketCloud. And over here we've got Jay Canada. He's from Momentum Design Labs, and they helped us put this app together. We'll get a chance to bring him up here. My name is Conrad. I'm a user experience and UI engineer, and I wanted to take a few minutes to tell you about this app. So if you don't know, VMware delivers virtualization and cloud infrastructure solutions that enable IT organizations to energize business of all sizes. vSphere is VMware's flagship server virtualization platform that allows customers to reduce capital and operating expenses, improve agility, ensure business continuity, and strengthen security and go green. So this application is targeted for the typical user of vSphere, which is the IT admin. And maybe the IT admin is not the typical mobile application user that most of us might think of, but they're really critical. And in terms of mobile access, they're people who huge companies count on to make sure that everything continues to stay up and running. And vSphere is our big enterprise infrastructure management platform. When the admin uses the iPad client and they authenticate in, they get this list here of the hosts that they're managing. The hosts are all underneath this one virtual center server, which manages all of them. They get some quick information about how many hosts they're managing and how many VMs they've got under management. And they can tap any of them and go and get some more detail about any particular host. Here we've got the name of the host and a little bit about its utilization. And then you get to see these little cards that represent all the different virtual machines that are running on that host. If the admin then goes and taps one of the VMs, they can get some detail about that particular VM. So for example, they can again see its name and IP address, its utilization, and they can see the latest events that have occurred on that. This is all allowing them to sort of keep up with what what all the different parts of the infrastructure are doing, their computing infrastructure. They can even look in and get some chart information, see some more detailed performance metrics. Come on, there it is. Lovely. And even quickly just ping them and make sure that those machines are back up. These are sort of the basic tools that they use just to make sure that everything's all right. Now what we've given them are some tools to look in and check on stuff, but we've also given them their sort of biggest, most serious remediation tools as well. So they can go in and for any of these, for any of the VMs, they can restore a snapshot, which is a quick little backup that they've made of the virtual machine from right here. They can even, if things need to be drastic for a particular VM, they can suspend it, shut it down, or in case of hosts, put them into maintenance mode. This is what they have to do when the host has gotten really in bad shape. They need to be able to take it down so that they can quickly move VMs off of it and replace any elements of the host. One of the remediation things that they may have to do is actually quickly identify what the VM is that's causing them a problem. They can flip over the different cards. Whoops. They can flip over the different cards and get some performance metrics for each of them and actually make a quick comparison and identify the ones that are causing any sort of trouble. Oh, this one seems like it's pretty loaded, so maybe that's the one I should shut down. They can also power on any of the hosts. The thing about this infrastructure is that it's very large. So in this case, there are 440 VMs, which is quite a bit to dig through and identify. Sometimes, so they may just need to quickly search for it. So, got a minute? Searching takes a little while. So they can quickly identify the different host or VM that they need. So it's about managing a really complex environment and providing them a quick insight into the different pieces of it and allowing them to do some quick remediation actions. Anyway, but that's all. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Conrad. Next on deck, Josh Kirk from YouSendIt.
Is this thing on? How's it going? My name is Josh Kerr, and I'm Director of Product for Mobile at YouSendIt, and I am just going to jump right into this demo. So pretend that I am an inspector for the FAA, and my job requires me to video cracks in airplane fuselages. And then I have to sign a document saying that I did the inspection and the plane is safe to fly. So I've got an email from Southeast Airlines, and they're worried because there's cracks in their planes. So I have this email from my boss, and it's a document that I have to sign. So I'm going to go ahead and open this in the YouSendIt app. So YouSendIt app opens, and right now it is copying that attachment from my email box up to the server. And there it is. So now the part where I need to video the airplane. So for this demo, we're cheap and we couldn't afford to bring a plane. So you guys, as the audience, are going to be the plane. So I can add audio, video, photos to this folder. So right now I'm going to do video, and you guys are going to pretend to be an airplane. All right, let me see some wings. Oh, good wings. This is a good audience. Nice. All right, so we took a video, and now I'm going to say use, and this is going to copy right up to the server. What's really cool about our copy protocol is that I could have gone into a subway in the middle of that file transfer, and the file would stop copying because there's no signal in the subway. But as soon as I got out of the subway, it would continue where it left off. We, I believe, are the only ones that can do file resume like that. You can also queue up multiple files, and it'll transfer them one at a time until the whole queue is empty. So we're going to switch over to the desktop now. So we give you a desktop access to this cloud with all of your files. And I'm going to go ahead and drag one of these files into a folder. Drag and drop. And I'm going to go into this folder now. And this is where our video is that we just made. Let's go ahead and download that and see what it looks like. Make sure it came out right. And there it is. Let's see it. Whoa, you guys look good. So now I've basically demonstrated, okay, I can take all these files on my device and I can copy them up to the cloud. But you're still kind of boxed in, right? How am I going to share these files? Well, fortunately, we have a feature that allows you to share. So clicking here brings up our share screen. And I'm going to go ahead and give my boss from here permissions to this folder. So I'm going to give Doug permissions. So now it's sending out an invitation to Doug, giving him permission to this folder. He can add content, modify content. He can do pretty much everything you would want to do with share. But right now he can access through the web and he can access through a mobile phone. But we wanted to give him more than that. So we also offer sync. So on a Mac or a Windows computer, you can actually access all of these files. It's pretty amazing. So the last step here is I've got to sign this document. Typically, to sign a document, you are going to print it, sign it, and then fax or scan it to get it back in. You guys see that? So at YouSendIt, we decided, well, you know what? Why don't you just sign right on your device? So we built this really cool system. Clear this out. You basically touch with your finger where you want to sign. And then you get this option box to insert a signature, text, date, and an image. I'm going to choose signature. And I'm going to turn my screen horizontal. And I'm going to sign. You'll notice that the background scrolled so that it could fit my really long signature in a very small box. So now, there's my signature. But it's not quite in the right spot. So I'm going to move it. Perfect. I can resize it, I can rotate it. I'm going to add a date now. I'm done? Cool. And it just saved a PDF document to all of those devices that were connected. So it's my mobile, it's the web, and it's all the shared folders. And this stuff is really cool. You guys are going to love it.
Thanks, Josh. That's awesome. Breezy, did you guys show up today? All right. Oh, you're Breezy here. All right. Cool. So from Breezy, we have Jared. Yeah. That you? Okay. Do you need a printer?
Hey guys, it's getting late. Everyone is starving, so I'll go really fast. Fortunately, what I have to show you doesn't take very long because it's supposed to be fast. Breezy is software that lets you print anything from any device to any printer or fax machine. And the experience that we've all come to know and love or despise on our computers is I push the button over here, and a few seconds later, my document starts coming out of the printer over there. And until now, it's been very difficult to replicate that kind of experience on a mobile device. So that's what we are. That's what we're doing at Breezy. So let me go through real quick and show you. This is a pre-release build of our new BlackBerry app that's coming out next month. So when you log in, the first thing that it does is just shows you a little help screen about how to use the application. And you know, Breezy's a freemium service, so for our free users, we print a little watermark on the page that says this was printed with the free version. For our premium users, obviously, it doesn't require that. And when people print to fax machines, it costs us a little bit of money, so we charge per page for that. So you see there where you can buy some fax credits or upgrade your account from within the app. So to actually print something, you would just go into your email, select the email that you want to print, and if there's anything that, for instance, like this has an attachment, you just check the attachment. You select the email that you want. Select Print with Breezy from the menu. You can select the attachment, or maybe the attachment and the email body both. Click Next, and what will happen now is the device will query our server in real time for a list of all the printers that are available to me. So those could be printers that I've added myself or that my company has made available to me. And these are what's showing here. So back at home, I've got a couple of printers available, and then at our office, we've got a few more. So I'll just send it to that one. We'll say, go ahead and print in color and send it through. And so you can see the whole thing takes just a few seconds. If I hadn't been talking through the whole thing, it would be even quicker. So that's the app itself. And as I said, Breezy lets you print to your own printers, to your company's printers if they've, if there are customers that have made those available to you. And then we're building the world's largest network of on-location partners like hotels and airports and conference centers and coffee shops and so on, so that wherever you go, you'll be able to pull up on your phone a map with a GPS dot and a real-time list of all the printers that are nearest to you that are available. You'll be able to print any of those directly from your phone. The other thing that we're building that I think will be particularly interesting in light of a lot of the cool applications we've seen tonight is we've got a RESTful API that's available for any application developer to add drop-in print functionality, and we'll actually be rolling out in a month or two a number of mobile SDKs for all of the different platforms to make it very simple for any developer to just link to our library and then add a UI element to call it. So for those of you tonight that have got really cool applications around sharing of documents and collaboration and so on, but you can't print from those in all cases, you know where to find us. For the rest of you, we are definitely hiring. We're recently funded. We're moving very quickly. It's a small team, about 4 people right now, and we're very psyched to be building the platform that will power mobile printing for the next generation of apps. So come talk to us afterwards if you're interested, or drop us an email. My email is Jared, J-A-R-E-D, @breezy.com. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Jared. Next, guys, we have GetContact.info, and they're going to be demoing George's company.
Hey everybody, my name is George, and this is Alex, and we are the co-founders of GetContact.info. And so today we're just going to be doing a little demo for you to show exactly what we do. We make it easier to exchange and manage contact information using our platform, and it's a cross-platform on web right now, but we will be launching on native devices very soon.
So how many of you have business cards with you today, either in your pocket or brought them for networking? And that's basically what we found. Business cards are still a great way of exchanging contact information. information. It's efficient, you hand one to someone you meet, and they have all your contact information. What's not so great about business cards is what do you do, with a card after you receive it? How do you get that information into a usable format? So George and I went to a couple conferences, came back from them, always with a stack of business cards, and no way of actually sorting through that information, remembering who was an actual lead, or getting that into some format where we can actually call that person without having to enter in their phone numbers manually. So we looked at the mobile space today, looked at ways of exchanging contact information and ways to basically improve that process. We looked at things like Bump, Card Munch for a solution, and we actually couldn't find a solution because most of those applications are looking to replace business cards. But we just established that business cards still really have a place in our business culture today. They're still a great way of exchanging information. So we sat down and we looked and we tried to figure out how do we solve this issue. And what we came up with is GetContact.info. So GetContact.info is all about empowering your business card. So right there, if you sign up for their service, we generate a custom QR code for you. You can take that, you put them on your business card, and as that card is scanned and accessed, we can actually track information for you. We can tell you who, when, and where your business card was accessed. So it's business card analytics. For the person scanning your card, they can also download all your information into a usable format. And George will go into that and explain a little bit more.
So there is an added benefit for the people that are scanning your business card. So I'll do a really quick demo right here. So, wow, that's very bright. So I'll just show you what we're doing right here. If I scan this business card, just like you saw on the screen right there, you'll get taken to a mobile optimized page for your information. So here's what you'll see when you scan that information for Alex. And this page is mobile optimized and it's cross-platform, so you can use it on any browser. You can use it on Android and iOS. We'll show you the iOS right here. You also have instant gratification. So when you get to Alex's mobile page, you can directly click these buttons and call him. You can also email him by just simply clicking his email address right there. It integrates with all social accounts so that you can view his mobile Facebook page as well. And it's very easy to have all your information at first glance. So that's very simple what GetContact.info does. And we'll show you on the web browser right now how it integrates and how you can track analytics on that. So once I went to Alex's mobile page, I could have also clicked adding him as a contact. Once I add him as a contact, he's notified in real time that I decided to add him, and he can accept me as a contact and start viewing all my information from the online platform. He can also track whether or not I viewed or downloaded his information, and all of this is customizable. So as you can see in the top right corner, he has notifications that tell him when and where information was accessed for him, and this tracks all the analytics around his information. As you can see on this background right here, Alex has his customized background, which you can change to anything you want so that you make it you. Essentially what we're trying to do is empower your business card, so we're making GetContact.info an extension to it. We're not trying to replace it as it is because we find that business cards are very much a part of the customs in every day. So in this panel right here, what you can see is an overview of the contacts panel. Whenever you add someone as a contact, you can view their information and you can take notes on them, so you can validate leads. So let's say Adolfo, he's a promising lead, and we met him at Momo's SV. So this is a great way to make sure that when you are trying to follow up with people that you've met at conferences and trying to make sure that all the business cards that you did accept have valid information, you can track this and you can follow up with them in the future time. And we are right now. We actually just pushed this last iteration of our system actually 2 weeks ago. So we are going to be launching our statistics page very soon. So stay posted and sign up. Everything's free. It's free forever. And yeah, if you have any questions, we'll be available after the presentations. Thank you.
All right, guys, we have 2 more left. If you can hold on. Next on stage is Xora Satish. Who's Xora?
Good evening, everyone. I realize I'm one of the last ones up right before you guys get out of here, so I'll try and make this brief. My name is Satish Kumar, and I'm with Xora. For those of you who don't know Xora, we are the global leaders in GPS-based mobile enterprise apps. We have about 15,000 customers, mostly mid-market, but some large enterprises like Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, City of Chicago, City of New York. So what do we really do? Essentially, we help businesses convert the mobile phone, any mobile device, into a productivity tool for their field employees. Essentially, it allows field employees to collect real-time data in the field and the business back in the office to make decisions based on it. Our customers are typically any business with field employees in blue-collar, gray-collar businesses, construction, transportation, field service, and healthcare, and so on. So I'll start off showing our mobile application. Essentially, this is the app that users in the field will use, and the data is collected, and then the real intelligence is on our back office cloud-based application. We support a variety of platforms, both smartphones and feature phones. In the real world that is outside Silicon Valley, we still have a huge portion of field employees using feature phones across the board. So we do have to support a variety of them today, although we do support most of the smartphone platforms as well. So essentially, this is our app. It typically starts up, continues to run in the background, and collects a GPS pulse every few minutes that gets transmitted in real time back to the office, that a user in the office can then view on a map and see where exactly the field employees are. It helps them make decisions, for example, who should be the closest worker to dispatch out a job to, and so on. We also have a timesheet module. Very simply, they could start a shift, fat finger friendly for field employees. Start a shift, end a shift, shift break, and so on. Start a break, on break, back in the shift. Job handling, a user in the office, a dispatcher could dispatch out a job to the field. They know who's where, they can figure out who's the closest to a job site, and then send out a job. You'd have the job show up here. You could pull it up, look at it. On smartphones, we've also integrated capabilities that can maximize what you could do with it. For example, you could pull up an address on the map and then navigate to it right from there. Very handy for someone in the field who's trying to do jobs that they've not been to in different locations. They could look at various actions. So what we could do is, the UI itself here looks fairly simple. But what we have done on the back end is an elaborate configuration tool which enables us to change the user interface on the handset on the fly over the air. Where you could, for example, push out workflows based on how the business runs. We could push out mobile forms to collect information exactly how they want it to be done. We could have those different actions and workflows defined so that based on how the user typically works, they can set that up on the phone. For example, here we have a variety of different actions based on how this business works. And we can also define rules around what they can and cannot do at different stages. This is, for example, the only action they can take at this stage, which will allow them to take. You can have required mandatory fields, essentially making it simpler for the user to ensure that the right information is collected. We enable mobile forms as well. These forms are built on the back end by the customer, and then they're pushed out to the device in real time. And then they show up on the device. And these forms can be attached to a shift or a job or a delivery so that they can collect associated information based on what they're doing. It's an application which very broad usefulness across a variety of verticals, and pretty high ROI for the business, because they can actually squeeze out costs from their business today as well as get incremental revenue by doing some additional jobs, just by having visibility into what's going on in the field. So all this information essentially flows to the back office, where a user can pull up the information on our cloud-based application. They'd be able to quickly see what's going on in the field by pulling up a dashboard where they can see the users, who's available, who's not, pull up detailed information about any of the users, see them on a map, see where they've been through the day, look at their activities through the day. They can pull up the jobs, look at where the jobs are through the day. They can upload it, dispatch it to the users. They can have customer locations listed right there so that they have easy visibility into what's going on. They have extensive reporting capabilities, as well as they can create their own alerts on any information that's collected on a mobile device. That's really where a lot of the power of the application comes from. So that's just a basic overview of what our application does. I'll be happy to answer any questions afterwards if you have any. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Satish. Yeah, right on time. So thanks here for everyone for keeping it down to 5 minutes. Next we have the ZigZag Board from Eric. This is actually a pretty cool demo when I first saw it, and I had to get this guy. Just a reminder, after our last demo, please don't get up and leave. We have 4 tickets to give away, a couple of $1,000s worth of conference tickets. One is to App Nation, two tickets to App Nation, the other 2 are for Social Loco. So actually, so you guys stick around and get the present to win.
Thank you for staying with us this long. I'm always interested in the last presenter, and I know I'm between you and I think there's more drinks after this.
Definitely.
All right, so there's end in sight. The end is in sight. So my name is Eric Bauk. I'm the co-founder and CEO of ZigZag, and our mission is to make you and your meetings more visual and more productive. So, quick show of hands. How many of you love to work with whiteboards? All right, that's great to see. How many of you have lots of conference calls? So what do you do about that? Right? Yeah, pretty hard to bet the two work together. And so what we've tried to do, and what we're going to show you, is the next version of our software coming out very shortly. Should be this month. And we're going to show you how to actually make those two things work together. Basically, we have a product called ZigZag Board. Kind of see it there. And it's a collaborative whiteboard for the iPad and the web. And it hopefully makes it so you can visualize your ideas and share them with others no matter where they are. So, at its core, very simple. You can see me drawing stuff here. Okay. We have a lot of space here on this whiteboard. So you can kind of see, you can zoom in and out. You can write nice and small. You can use your finger. You can also use a stylus, which I happen to have here. Any aftermarket styles will do. We particularly like this one for now, from Boxwave. There's others that are coming that look even more exciting. I don't know if you've seen the Cosmonaut, but it looks really cool. And so, core, very, very simple. Then you can take it a step further, make it easy for you to select things, move them around, resize, and so on. So now you can start to get a little bit better than a whiteboard because you can actually move things around. That's a little nicer than using the side of your hand and erasing it and then getting that on your pocket. But I think the really cool thing here, and I hope you'll agree, is what we can do when you want to meet with somebody not in the same room. And so you can kind of see that, kind of hard to read here, that easy to read. Start a meeting. And so now we can go ahead and start a meeting. And then this connects over the internet, through firewalls, and gets you over to a meeting, a lot like what you saw with Fuze or what you're familiar to with WebEx or so on. And then gives us a little meeting number. And so I've got my CTO and co-founder Irvin in the audience. So Irvin, go ahead. There's no chance how you can read that. 496-332-862. Okay? And so what's going to happen here, Irvin's going to go ahead and join the meeting. And then we'll get a little notification. You see Irvin's here. You can see we've got all the folks in our meeting. And so now Irvin can go ahead and write things. Even though he's just sitting right there. But that would work just as well if he was in New York or somewhere in Europe or God knows where else. So also, we can do things simultaneously. So as Irvin is writing, hopefully not over the top of where I'm writing, you can see that multiple things are coming up at the same time. Right? So no presenter mode. Right? This is collaboration. This is exactly what you want to do in the middle of a I don't know what he's drawing, in the middle of a meeting, right? So very, very interactive, very collaborative. So give you a few examples. Let's think about, one of the cool things here, actually before I do that, let me do this. So it works great, obviously if you have iPads, if everybody's got an iPad, it seems like everybody's got an iPad if you walk around San Francisco, but obviously that's not totally the case. But we make it easy to hook up to this even if you have a laptop. I doubt you can hear me from over there, but I'm going to go ahead and plug the number in. 496. 862. 1 second, I'm just entering the info here. And now, let's see if that works. All right, so now, we're not seeing my iPad anymore. We're now looking at the web version of our software, and so you can see that that's going to keep up also, right? So I can go ahead and you can see me drawing stuff here, and I can also focus your attention on something, maybe what I just drew. Easy to do, right? So you can get everyone looking at the same stuff, which is pretty cool. Okay? So now, imagine, if you will, a bunch of different scenarios, right? You're a marketing person and you're working with your team to develop a landing page, but you're at a trade show and you're in a different city, or you're working with a design agency. Very easy to tie everything together, make it easy to do. Imagine you're in sales and you're having a conversation with a customer over the phone. Maybe that's your whole job, is to have conversations with customers over the phone. We make it much easier to have those kind of communications even though you're not able to be face-to-face. One of the things that we're seeing a lot of interest in is with construction and architects, engineers, people that are out in the field carrying around blueprints. Being able to put drawings on top of those blueprints, things like that, is something that we're going to enable, and it looks pretty exciting. There's Irvin drawing some more stuff. So I think that gives you a pretty good idea of what we're about. How much time do we have?
Andrew and Mark, you guys come up. So what do you want to do? You want to do yours first? Okay. So we'll also be doing announcements. So if you guys want to, I'll do like 12 people for announcements. If you guys want to line up here on the right-hand side, come up for announcements, and I'll take the first 10 folks that line up, and then you guys can just talk about what you're.
All right, I'll do it quick. Nice to see some familiar faces. I used to run ad tech, running App Nation now.
It's a new show at Moscone in 2 weeks, actually our second show. We're covering the app economy, really looking at it from a business standpoint. So discoverability, monetization, hopefully business development for some companies as well. Mostly consumer, although we're expanding the enterprise coverage this year, and we're going to do an enterprise summit in the fall. So come up and talk to me. These are 2 full conference passes, 2 each actually. So $1,500 worth of passes for each individual winner. First card I pulled out, Marin Software. I know Marin Software. Gagan Kanwar. Is he here? Bummer. So we get somebody here. VMware. It's not an inside job, I promise. Creighton Hicks. Great. All right. And the last one for 2 conference passes. Promise I'm not looking. From Momentum, David Thompson. All right.
Hi everyone, my name is Mark Evans, and we are putting on an event next month called Social Loco, which is all about the social location revolution. We're talking about the web, the social web converging with mobile and location. It'll be keynoted by Marissa Mayer of Google and Jaiwire and Groupon and Facebook and Foursquare and Gowalla, and all those folks will be there too. So let's go ahead and give away some full conference passes. This is about $1,200 worth of passes. Akemi Koda, US Asia Venture Partners. And Momentum, again, David Thompson.
Really, somebody else can go.
Okay. All right. That's nice.
Go buy a lottery ticket today.
All right. At Moby, Steve Suruda. All right, moving on. Joby Menon, Tata. All right. We're also doing a donut competition, so find me afterwards. If you'd like more information on that, we also have some other discount code cards. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, so this is our announcements session. I just want to also mention, because I know Akemi, who just won, also is helping put next month's event together. It's Spotlight Japan. I know in the recent events in Japan, we've been fighting before that, and so we're bringing 7 companies from Japan to present, and these are probably what's big in Japan. I would say the Facebook of Japan, the Zing of Japan will be coming. So a lot of interesting companies that necessarily haven't made it out of Japan, but we have very mirrored type of services in the rest of the world. So that's next month, May 16th. You'll definitely probably get an email from me, if not 2 or 3. And it's also limited seating, so it's about 250 seats. And we'll also have some interesting announcements, like a VIP session with the presenters beforehand. So just want to let you guys know before that, because Kimmy wanted me to do that. All right, guys, we'll do 30 seconds announcements. Okay.
Hi folks, I'm Glenn from Hypocrisies. I'm a development manager there, and I'm hiring for senior iOS developers to work on our new native iPad and iPhone mobile health application. Our goal is to help physicians improve the quality and safety of patient care in the US. So if you'd like to be part of that while helping to build really cool mobile enterprise applications, then find me after this or search Hypocrisies online. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Rishi. I'm here from a technology nonprofit called One Economy Corporation. We are currently hosting a contest called Applications for Good to have people develop mobile desktop web SMS applications to help low-income people get jobs, get banked if they're unbanked, get healthy, and get educated, so learning applications. We're currently hosting a contest with AT&T to give away $50,000 in prizes to people who have ideas, developers, designers. So go to our website, applicationsforgood.org, and yeah, I'll be around after if you want to ask me any questions. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ashwin Radia from Avansoft. If you are a JavaScript framework developer like EXT.js or Dojo UI, then we are looking for front-end web and mobile application developer. If you are in particular EXT.js or Snapchat Touch, even if you can work on a part-time basis, you can talk to us. Thanks.
Remind you guys, if you are looking to hire, you can tweet with #MomoSV, and then folks looking for jobs, because they'll always like, who is that guy? Who was the job? But if you tweet it to #MomoSV, the lady guys can pick it up. Thanks.
Hi, Josh from YouSendIt again. We are looking for iOS and Android developers. Come work at a company who has 70 million people who've used our service, sending over 5 million gigabytes of data. So if you want to create a mobile app that gets some pretty heavy use, you should definitely come check us out. It's a fun environment, and I love working there.
Hi, I'm Nasi. I'm a volunteer at the TICON, the world's largest entrepreneur conference. We have some coupon codes for TICON conference, and this year we are having TICON Expo. This is only for startups. So I have a special code for Mobile Monday. If anybody is interested, they can talk to me.
Hi, my name is Jenny and I'm the co-founder of FourthLink. It's an application for social and personal tracking, and we're currently looking for a mobile developer. So if you're interested, you can talk to me after the conference or email me at jenny@fourthlink.com. That's FORTH link.com. Thank you.
Hi guys, Joe Preston with Momentum Design Lab. We worked with VMware on the vSphere app tonight. We're currently looking for Flex developers. We're also partners with Sencha Touch, so we're looking for Sencha Touch developers. We're a small user experience design development shop here in the city. And if you're looking to get a lot of apps under your belt, consumer and enterprise, in a short amount of time, come talk to myself, David, or Jay, MomentumDesignLab.com. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Javelin. I'm a Mobile Monday volunteer who videotapes and makes the video available for streaming. But the past couple of years, I've been an independent consultant in product management, most recently at Sony Network Entertainment, and prior to that, Plastic Logic. So interested in any new full-time or consulting opportunities in consumer, mobile, web, or desktop applications and services. Thanks, and the video should be available and online in the next few days. Thanks.
Thanks, John. Okay, before we leave, one of the demo guys left their hotspot.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, thank you. I'll give it back to you next month. So, all right, guys. I've asked for the bar to be open for the next 30 minutes, so feel free to mingle. They'll still be open. If you still have your tickets left, they're still valid. So have some drinks. Thanks, everybody.